Hi, this is Cheryl again with Designs by Cheryl B. Thanks for joining me. I'd like to show you one of my newest journals today, and I'm so excited about this journal. The artwork is a little different than what I have done in the past. I don't really know what you call it, the style, but I'm just going to say mixed media collage work, vintage mixed media collage work. The cover art is my own composition, and it is a printout, and I have added this beautiful pop-out butterfly, and it says, "We're all keepers of the garden." The cover is very sturdy. It came out really well with the chipboard I used. It's the first time I used chipboard in making a journal cover. And it is hand bound, and on the back is the continuation of my original composition. So let's get started. Let's have a look. This is more of the type of style of artwork that I'm talking about, that I don't really know what they call it, but it's got old newspaper behind it. She's standing on a globe of flowers. These are cutouts, so they're all raised. She has 2 layers of cutout butterfly wings, as you can see, and she's a wonderful vintage lady. This is a book plate that I added, ex libris, which means in Latin, "this book belongs to." There are pockets for keeping goodies. Got some garden party invitation cards, some ephemera. Not sure what this is. It's like I think it's like music, like a music program, an old print of a music program. So that's pretty cool. And then I made this little envelope. Well, it's holding the garden cards, but I made it out of a lace doily, one of the paper doilies, and folded it over. And on the back it has a replica of a vintage envelope and stamp. And it's tied with a pretty little organza bow. Here, following the garden theme, we have a map, a vintage map of an old garden in Chicago. On the next page, we have some beautiful flowers, and again, that same printout of that music program, because it was so pretty. A little prayer card. Here we have, this is a cutout card of a vintage woman. I mounted it on chipboard, so it's nice and sturdy and thick. A little tuck pocket here with this big, beautiful flower, and just put some old newspaper and letter into it. And the colors all match and coordinate, as you can see. Okay, here we actually turn to the garden party page, and I printed out all these vintage women. I gave them each a name and their invitation list, and then I gave them each a vintage garden chair that they would be sitting in at the party. There are more vintage invitations to use. So that's the garden party page, and here's our little hostess here. So on the next page, we have this beautiful, beautiful stationery printout, which I aged, and I just love those colors. I love the texture of the paper. It really came out wonderful. A little rose envelope here. That really turned out pretty. And there's a rose tuck pocket and another one of the big flowers. Here we have a garden Bible verse about the lilies of the field. Here's a little Valentine Cupid on mounted on another piece of board. A lace paper lace doily, and another vintage style envelope. This is kind of the blue page. This again is a little cutout little cherub on a butterfly. I just love that, and I put it on the old newspaper print, along with some blue flowers and a little blue card. And here we have a bird with music notes, and the colors again all coordinate. Some ticket stubs, ephemera. On the next page, we have packs of garden seed in another little pocket tuck here, and there's 2 garden seed packs. Another verse from Genesis about planting a silk flower, and this beautiful lady, a print that I aged and lined in ribbon and little miniature roses with a lace tuck pocket there. Here's some more of the mixed media. This says Dance in the Garden of Life, and she has a butterfly, and his little wing pop out too. I just love doing the pop out butterfly wings. There's a matching one over here, and here's another vintage girl on chipboard, and she's kind of a fairy ballerina. These 2 ladies, I loved this. I took them and put them on a brad into the page so that they can swivel, and you can line them up however you like. They're so much fun, and they're so cute. And that was a cutout that I did. Okay, on the next page, another butterfly pop out, some more garden seeds, little picture of a little fairy girl, which I took off of the book I had published, Little Fairy by the Flowers. This is just kind of a portion of the cover work, but I cut her out and added the ribbon and the ivy, and I thought that worked really well. Look, have a postcard print here. Looks like probably Monet. Another garden party invitation, and an aged envelope. Now, this is my centerfold for this section. Some more flower seeds, and some more old ticket type stubs. This is just a pretty stationary page with an inspirational quote, and some blank pages that I went ahead and left blank in the center. This is a print of mixed media, so that's really pretty, and I love the colors, and they tie in with this really well. So yeah, I left several blank pages here just so that you could journal your own or add your own treasures. Here we have a print of an old letter, another little tuck here with just the quote that says beauty on the inside, and this beautiful vintage bird print. On the next page of a yellow rose and vintage garden, and there's a little pocket here. It's called a journaling pocket, and there's a little matching note card for journaling to put in the pocket. So that was really cute. Ooh, a big cutout, pop-out butterfly here, and it's a little card with butterfly and roses. And then look at this. I love this. I cut this out, layered it. It's layers of cutout roses, and then I aged them. And a little tuck pocket with this flowery edging. I have another big butterfly cut out here. And this lady, she is a paper doll. I cut her out, mounted her to chipboard, so she's front and back. Got front and back, and she's just so cool. I just love her, and she fits into this little rose pocket, which this is one of my compositions, music notes with a rose. She's got lace behind her. We have another just empty pocket here with some goodie, inspiration, and some more ephemera, same as in this aged envelope. Let's see. On this page, I added another print composition that I did. It's not cutouts, but it's this little girl, and it says "Story Time in the Garden," and you can open it up, and it has a fairy princess, and says, "Once upon a time, there was a fairy princess who lived in a magic garden," and you can kind of tick off on that from there with some blank space to journal more of the story. I have another paper doll here. I just love these paper dolls. This is a little girl. She's front and back. I think she was from an advertisement. What's it? 1894. A coffee advertisement. So she's just really cool. Over here we have a little vintage style angel with some flowers and another flower cut out on a paper doily. This is another print of a mixed media page, and it's not cutouts, it's just a print, but it turned out very nice, and the colors match with this really well. A couple more blank pages, and then we come to the Tea Party page, and this is one of my compositions, which I've added one of my poems, and little tea party card, tea party invitation, and a little rose bookmarker. Over here we have a tea bag with tea, and an old tea advertisement, some roses, and another mounted flower card, and all tucked in this paper bag, which is glued. A couple more blank pages, and more blank pages. Here's another tea time card with a place to tuck something behind it, with a matching stationery over here on this page. This is a postcard of a rose that I aged, and a vintage lady. I just love the way she's looking off with the roses in the background. Here is a heart doily that I aged with a cutout of a flower and another garden Bible verse. And this is called a garden journal, and I made this little tiny journal. It's a flower cut out on it, and it's just filled with aged looking blank pages for you, and it slips into this little tuck spot as well, so it's fun to keep some secret notes in. A few more blank pages, and that's the end of that. There's quite a few blank pages, but that's the end of that section. We have another pocket folder here, and then we come to the second section, which I left all blank so that you can add so much more. You can pick up where it leaves off, or you can start your own new theme, place to journal and keep treasures. And this is the back inner cover, and that's the end of the book. So I hope that you enjoyed this tour of We're All Keepers of the Garden. This is one of my absolutely favorite journals that I've done. It is so smooth and sturdy, and it just really turned out great. So this is Cheryl Brigham with Designs by Cheryl B. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a blessed day, and be sure to visit my Etsy shop for these journals and much more.